Hello and welcome. So today we're just going to have a quick look at my BMW E36. It's a 328i 95 model. It's done about 220,000 kilometers. I've done a bit of work to it, but still a lot of more work to go. I've had it for about a year now. When I bought it, it had a brown interior. Then I changed that over to a black one. It's got the M3 staggered rims on it. I don't know if you can see them. Yes, so this is pretty much one of my favourite BMWs of all time. I've owned a few of these in the past, but this one's pretty special because it's the 328i, which are pretty rare. It's the model just below the M3. Just below the M3. The rear bumper needs a bit of work. As you can see, the paint's faded across the top there. I also got the rear diffuser that I've got to install on it. And then I'm also going to get side skirts that I'm going to put on it. But for now, it runs and drives great. I use it as my daily driver. It does have a few dings and scratches, you know, for its age. It's expected. So yeah, it's got the M3 staggered rims. They're wider at the back than the front. Probably need to get some new tyres on it. I've had the brakes done. I've got these aftermarket clear lens corner blinkers, which I really like. I don't like the amber colour ones, they look pretty crap. Yep, the front bar, so front bar's got the M3 front bar on it with the lip. I don't know if you can see that lip properly, but it's got that lip on it. I probably will get the angel eyes eventually, but for now, it does the job. It's got the clear lens and side blinkers on it as well. It does need a bit of a wash. The weather's been pretty crap here, and yeah, everyone's in lockdown at the moment, so not much we can do. But this is it. This is the outside of my BMW E36. Like I said, it's got a few scratches here and there on the back bumper, and the door here, the side of the door has got a nice decent scratch on it, which will have to be looked at. The roof's been redone. The roof's actually pretty good condition. All the rubbers are pretty good. The wiper blades have changed. The windscreen rubbers have been replaced. The rear ones tend to crack and fade away, so they're all pretty new. It does need a new rear badge, which I do have, and I'll probably get installed eventually. Also got a muffler in order, nice chrome tips, and it should make a big difference with the sound as well. Alright, so let's have a look inside. So like I said, inside, the interior was brown when I first got it, and then I've changed it over to a black interior. So what I did was, I went and bought another E36 which I found, which was in pretty shit condition actually. I only bought it for like $1,000, but I had the interior, the black interior that I wanted in there. So I bought that, took the interior out of that one, took the interior out of this one, put it back into the old one that I bought, and then I sold the other one back for $800, so I didn't really lose much money. And then I put the interior into this. Now the carpet, everything. The carpet was probably the hardest part, as you had to cut around the heater matrix, and then I kind of cable tied it to the old carpet. The dash was quite annoying to pull out as well, but overall I think it came out pretty good. Door cards, everything works really good on it. Black leather seats, black rear leather seats. I guess the hardest part probably was the roof lining, because the roof lining was brown, and so I couldn't find a decent roof liner, but the brown one that I had was in really great condition. So what I did was I took it out and I sprayed it black using fabric spray, and I think it actually came out pretty good. Same with the side pockets and the rear parcel shelf. I sprayed that as well. I did use the rear lights, the ones that I had, which are sort of like still browny colour, plus the dash up above, the lights above here in the headliner, that's also brown as well, because I couldn't find the different coloured one. I've ordered a Continental head for this, and they pretty much look like the original, but all the modern technology with Bluetooth and all the other stuff on it. So I'm just waiting for that to arrive, because this aftermarket deck that's in there, it's kind of blue, and yet the rest of the car's all, you know, orange lighting. It just looks odd. But overall, I think it came out pretty good. I'm still trying to source some black speakers, because I couldn't find some black speakers, so I left my brown ones in there. And that's the back here. So that's the back. The handles, I had to spray black as well. Black leather interior. The center seat comes out. Like I said, I'm pretty happy with it. On this side, same thing. As you can see, door cards all in pretty good condition. Overall, the interior is pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. That's about it really, as far as the interior goes. Also changed the door handle seals, because they were all perished. You can get them online pretty cheap. I think they're like $15. Alright, now to the driver's seat. So as you can see, $224,000 on the clock, which for a 95 model is actually not too bad. And you know, I've serviced it, I've changed everything on it, and it actually drives really good. No smoke. You know, it runs great. I think I've had it up to about 240 on the freeway one morning. So it does go pretty good. It does go pretty good. Like I said, check control, all okay. The ECU functions are fine. At the moment I do have one of these Bluetooth connectors, because it doesn't have any Bluetooth capabilities. And so basically, like I said, when you turn all the lights on and everything, the deck is blue in colour, which I really don't like. So like I said, I've ordered a new deck for it. In the meantime, we'll have a look at the engine in a minute. I've also installed the center console. So I've installed these chrome rings around the dials, which I bought online as well. I've seen them in another car, and I thought they look great. It just adds a bit extra to the cluster. They were pretty easy to install. I think they came from Taiwan. Yeah, they were like, well actually no, they weren't that easy, because you had to take the whole cluster out, pull it apart, and then install the rings. So that was a bit of a mission in itself. But overall, they came out pretty good. It's got this high-line steering wheel, which is not really part of the car. I did try and source, you know, the rest of the trim for it, the trim pieces, but I couldn't really find them. So eventually, when I find a 3-spoke steering wheel or an M-style steering wheel, I will replace it. But in the meantime, this will do. It does have a really nice crack over here. And then that's it really for the interior. Alright, so let's have a look at what's under the hood. Alright, so under the hood. And there we have it. So this is the 2.8 litre straight six. As you can see, it's pretty clean. So what have I done to this so far? So changed the rocker cover, the valve cover gasket, because that was leaking. I've changed the brake fluid. I've changed the radiator shroud because that was cracked. I've replaced all the hoses. I've replaced the thermostat, and I also bought a metal, and that was sort of like aluminium thermostat housing, because the plastic one was in really shit condition and they tend to crack. So these aluminium ones pretty solid. So I've got the silicone hoses on there. I've got all these new plastic bits that attach to the alternator for the airflow, because they were all cracked and perished. I had to change the ABS pump because the ABS light kept coming on, and that was pretty much as yeah. Other than that, I've done all the servicing. I've changed all the filters, all the spark plugs, everything like that. But overall, it's pretty clean condition. I do have a few oil leaks underneath, so I haven't really worked out where they're coming from, but I'd say it's normally the oil pan gasket, which is pretty much of a pretty massive job to do. So I haven't worked out what I'm going to do with that yet, but eventually I probably will change the oil pan gasket. I'm just hoping the rear main seal is not leaking, so I'll have to look at that as well. And then next on my list is pretty much to get the gearbox serviced, oil change and filters and that. Nothing wrong with it, but you know, who knows if it's ever been done, and with the amount of K's on it, it probably needs it. I also changed the windshield, that plastic windshield cowling. That was all cracked and perished, and they tend to go pretty often, because if they sit out in the sun for too long, they crack and perish. But this is it. This is my baby at the moment. This is my pride and joy. This is my daily driver. I love this car, and I've got big plans for it. I'm going to do a lot of work to it, and then I will try and, you know, keep you updated on all the bits and pieces that I do. But for now, this is it. So I'm just waiting for all my parts to arrive to do another service on it, and when I do the service, I'll go through all the little bits and pieces, and we'll have a look underneath, and we'll see how it sounds. But for now, this is my BMW 1995 model E36 328i in the Grunkle Funk green. I don't even know how to say that. Grunkle Funk green, like a Boston green, you know, like British racing green. I don't mind this colour, I actually like it. And that's it really. This is it. This is the car. So thanks again. If anyone's interested in any details, just flick me a comment. I do have these aftermarket smoked out LED lights, which actually came with the car. I'm not too sure if I'm really sold on them yet, but we'll have to look. The original ones are really shit. They always tend to blow out. So I've got to try and source something else, see what else I can find for them. But that's it. Alright, thanks for watching. Have a good day. I've also installed remote keyless entry, because, you know, these didn't really come out with keyless entry, so I went and got an aftermarket one installed, and it makes it so much easier instead of having to use a key to try and open and close the door each time. And that's it. Alright, thanks for watching.